Hi everyone, this is Dawn Winters and you are watching my series called Writing for Doctoral Studies. This this video is about organizing research using a spreadsheet of empirical research. So I first want to start off with a review of what empirical research is. So empirical research is research that's conducted using direct or indirect observation, also using standard research methods. So these are articles or studies that have been peer-reviewed, they are verifiable, and they're triangulated. So when you're looking for things to include in your lit review for your chapter 2, or even articles to include in your research papers that you're doing for class, you're really going to want to look for these empirical research articles. And they should look a little bit like miniature dissertations. So you'll have a section 1 that kind of introduces the research, gives you a little bit about the rationale for the study, and gives a kind of a summary of what's going to happen in the article. Their section 2 should be a brief lit review, or I guess a limited lit review. The section 3 is going to give some methodology, section 4 is findings, and then section 5 should be the discussion of the findings and the impact for current research. So if your articles that you're finding don't have these sections or don't have these markers, you might want to check with what journal you're using, how you're finding the articles, and you might want to run them by either your professor or your chair to see, hey, are these viable things to include in my chapter 2 or in my research paper. And here in the bottom corner, I've got an empirical cycle to show you exactly what you should be looking for in your research. And this is just the process of empirical research, not so much what you should be finding in those articles. So when you're preparing for your chapter 2, there are a lot of opportunities or a lot of ways that you can organize your research. So an empirical spreadsheet like the outline that I showed in my outline video, and unlike the concept mapping, an empirical spreadsheet is a nice linear, even almost cubical way of assigning or of organizing your research. And this idea was not only inspired by, but I would say generated by Kristen Wilson, who had us do this in one of the classes, and I was really inspired by it. Hers was a little bit more basic because the purpose of the spreadsheet was just to get started with ideas. But if you were really using this as a way to organize your research for chapter 2, you could do so much more with it, and you can include a lot of other columns and boxes as a way to organize your thoughts. So the one that I'm going to show you today, I decided to include author, year, title, the journal it came from, just a general topic in your own words, and these might even be keywords, research questions or the thesis, the methodology, which includes design and sample, any kind of findings and notes. Now, we are kind of a little bit limited by PowerPoint as to what I can show you, but here's what it looks like once you get it kind of filled in. So over here to the far left, you're going to have your authors, and then you're going to include details about their writing that you're going to include in your chapter 2. And what I really wanted to show is in Microsoft Excel, you're able to manipulate your rows and you're able to manipulate your columns to organize these in different ways. So if you wanted to organize by topic, and let's say you kept the same order with your keywords, you can organize them by alphabetical. So it's going to group all of the first words that have the same first couple of letters started. They're going to group them together. So I've started like Andre and Mama She's Valley with international students. If they came on row 13 and 37, but I organized my rows by topic, and they're going to, and alphabetically, they're going to come up as partners or as pairs if I organize it just by topic. If I wanted to organize by journal, which just to see, hey, where am I finding these articles the most? Like if I just keep on randomly doing finding articles in the Journal of College Student Retention, But I can't find a pattern because I've been searching through hundreds of articles and I've just been randomly adding them to the spreadsheet organized by journals. And you might find a journal, you might find that you've been going to a journal really without knowing it and finding articles, especially if you're using Google Scholar or EBSCOhost, you're just finding great titles and reading through great abstracts. You're kind of not really paying attention to the journal. If you organize your spreadsheet by journal title, then you can really see that hey, Journal of College Student Retention, that's probably going to be a great source. I should just go to TDNet, and if you don't know what that is, you can watch my video on TDNet. I can go to TDNet and find that journal and just sift through the articles and see, maybe all the articles that you found are pre-2010. I want to see if there's any articles on international students in the years 2014 and 15. It can literally take you minutes to find that instead of hours that it would take to find you on Google Scholar or on a general database search. So this spreadsheet really allows you to manipulate things, and if you get your spreadsheet in the right order, you can really organize it to just create almost an outline within a spreadsheet of how your research is going to be organized in your lit review. Let's say that you wanted to, and you can, by the way, you can have tabs on Excel if you didn't know that, but you can have tabs on Excel. So let's say you had a research spreadsheet for retention, one for international students, and one for students from China, which is what you were studying. You could have those three tabs, and let's say you wanted to organize your lit review of your persistent studies, of your retention studies historically. Well, you could simply sort them by year to at least get when the writing was done. Now, this is just assuming that you're using the primary examples. So let's say you wanted to include Tinto, who started writing in the 1970s, but you found this article that was written in 2000 that really was a great summary of Tinto's research. Well, then that's not going to give you the historical data that you need. So using the primary texts that you're going to cite is really important, and that can help you organize on the back end. Again, if you wanted to organize by method, if you wanted to organize by findings, I've included the notes over here to the far right. These are notes that I have made, let's say, on the articles. So if you find an article that you say, this would be great in chapter 5, I know that my results are going to mirror or maybe refute these results. You might make a note, use in chapter 5, and especially if you've already found your results. If you know that the article might not be great, let's say it's a negative note, so you say, might not be a great fit, but you want to include it and save it for posterity, just in case you yourself find that you've gotten to the point where the article is fitting, you can add that note in there as well. So this is just one simple way to keep track of all of your research. I have seen dissertations where they've literally cited hundreds of studies. And so to really organize those, again, I kind of discussed this in my organizing research presentation. You have your own way of organizing maybe the paper files or the electronic files, but when you really sit down to write, this presentation, this empirical research spreadsheet is going to be a lot more easier to organize and to look at and to really synthesize your research rather than sifting through piles of paper on your dining room table or in your office. This is going to really allow you to have a succinct one-stop shop to see, hey, here's what I've gathered so far, here's where I might need to fill in with some more research, and here's how I want to organize my lit review. So if organizing research is a challenge for you, if you want more help or need someone to talk to about organizing research, about what to include in these boxes, your professors are great help. So is the Writing Center. They can walk you through some of the citation methods. They can walk you through maybe how to put into words some of these concepts. They're located on campus and on Glasgow's campus, and you can get to them online if you are off campus and don't want to come on in. All right, thank you very much for listening. Thank you.